Hello everyone. In today's class, we will see the application part of flip-flop. And one of the application of flip-flop is we can use them as a register. And registers are basically a memory element. So the first thing is you need to remember one point that for storing of n bit data, you need n flip-flops. Okay. And if you categorize register, the first type is CISO. The full form of CISO is serial in, serial out. Second category is SIPO, that is serial in, parallel out. Third category is PISO, that is parallel in, serial out. And fourth category is that is parallel in, parallel out. So without wasting time, let's start our first topic. Okay, so as you are seeing that it is serial in, means whatever data you are giving, you need to give it one by one. Okay, one bit at a time. And serial out means whatever data you are having inside your register element, you can take out that data one by one. If I take one D flip-flop, okay, this is one D flip-flop. In one clock pulse, whatever data we are providing at the input side will be stored at the output side. Okay, so suppose if it is 0 and we are providing one clock pulse, that is positive age triggered D flip-flop. So at this positive age, this data will be stored at this output side. Means with the help of one D flip-flop, we can store one bit. So I already told you that for storing of n bit, you need n flip-flops. Let's see how we can configure those n flip-flops so that we can store n bit data. So for 4-bit storage, we need 4 D flip-flops. Okay, and since we are discussing about CISO, that is serial in, serial out, means you have only one terminal for input and you have only one terminal for your output. And from those single terminal at the input side and output side, either you can give data to this whole element. Okay, this whole thing is known as 4-bit register. Okay, we'll make internal architecture of this one step by step. Okay, so with this single input, you can store your data one by one, and with this single output, you can take out your data one by one. And these are your D flip-flops. So this is your first D flip-flop, and the output of this D flip-flop you need to connect to your second D flip-flop. In the same manner, you need to connect all those flip-flops. Okay, so suppose now if I'm making my block diagram like this, it will work on positive edge of my clock. So if I am giving a series of clock pulse, so at these positive side of my clock pulse, my circuit will work. So now we will see how we can store data serially, what we need to do for extracting that data from this register. So let's see how we can store data. So we will take one example of 4-bit 1011. This 1 will be shifted to this place. Okay, and this next bit will be replaced here. So next bit is also clock pulse. This one will get shifted to this place. This one will shift it to this place, and here the next bit is 0, so we will get 1 0. After this, we will apply one more clock pulse. So at this positive edge, this one will get shifted at this place, and this 0 will get shifted at this place, and here in play will get 1. One more clock pulse so that this one will get shifted at this location. This one will get shifted at this location. This will be 0, this will be 1. And now you need not to bother about your input side. So in this way, you can see that you want to store 1011 in a successful manner. But you can see that at your output side, you are getting only single bit, which is 1. Okay. So at your output side, you are getting only 1. So after one clock pulse, this data, first bit, is stored at intermediate position at Q3, and rest all outputs will be 0, 0. When we apply second clock pulse, then this will get shifted to this location, and our new data, which is again 1, will get stored at Q3 location. And all the things will get shifted to right, and you will get 1100. Now, if we apply third clock pulse, so this 0 will get shifted to this place, this one will get shifted to this place, this one will get shifted to this place, and we will get a new bit, which is 0, at our intermediate location of Q3. Okay, so Q3 at this position, Q2 is here, Q1 is here, and Q0 is my final location or final output position. So let's see what will happen if I apply fourth clock pulse. Okay, so after applying fourth clock pulse, this one gets shifted to Q0 location. This one will get shifted to Q1 location. This 0 will get shifted to Q2 location. And my last bit, which is 1, will get stored at Q3 location. So after this, we can say that we have successfully stored our data, which is 1011. And now from this diagram, we can see that if this is my block diagram, means this is one box, and in that box, I'm applying only input and clock, and I'm getting output from one location. So after this point, I can take only this last bit, which is 1, at this location, output location. So we need to do something so that we can get other data which are stored in Q1, Q2, and Q3. So let's see what we need to do for retrieving our data from data register. So this is the location where we have stored our data. Okay. Now we'll see how we can retrieve our data. Suppose, let's say first we are discussing, we are not applying anything. Okay, any clock pulse. So at my output side, I will get one single bit, which is 1. Okay, this bit. If I apply the next clock pulse, this 1 will get shifted at this location, and we will again get one more 1. In a similar manner, if I apply second clock pulse, this 0 will get shifted here and then here, and we will receive this 0 at my output location. And in third clock pulse, like this 1 will get shifted from here to here, here to here, and here to here, and we will get this 1 at my output side. So from this analysis, you can see one thing, that after applying 3 clock pulse, you can be able to retrieve your data, which is 1101. Okay, which is 1101. Okay, and from here you can analyze that after giving 4 clock pulse, you can be able to store your data in a successful manner. So these two analyses are very important. So from this, like we can say that if we have like n bit, in case of CISO, whatever we are discussing till now, that is the case of CISO. It is serial in, serial out. So basically we have one box which is the register. Okay, we have one output, we have one input, and we have one place for giving clock. And this register can be of 3 bit, 4 bit, 5 bit, or n bit. It depends upon your application, whatever you want. Like if you want to store a large number of data, this will be having a large number of flip-flops. So in previous case, we have talked about 4-bit storage. So let's say it is 4-bit. Okay. So for storing of 4-bit, you need 4 clock pulse. And for receiving your storage bits at the output side, you need 3 clock pulse. Okay. So if we talk about n bit, so let's say you want to store in n bit and you want to retrieve that n bit. So basically for n bit, you need n clock pulse to store, and you need n minus 1 clock pulse to retrieve or receive your data at output side. And this is happening because you have only one output end. Okay, let's see another case, which is SIPO. SIPO means serial in, parallel out. Serial in means it is working as of previous case. You have only one input end, and from that input end, you are giving your data one by one. But this parallel out is something new. So instead of having a single output, we are having n number of outputs. In this case also, we will take 4D flip-flop and we will name them similar to our previous case. That is, this is D3, this is Q3, D2, Q2, D1, Q1, D0, Q0. And all the connections between those D flip-flops are similar to our previous case. And since we need to synchronize them, we need to apply one common clock pulse to all these flip-flops. So this is the basic architecture of 4-bit register, and it is known as serial input, parallel output when we are taking output from all these terminals. Okay, so means you are taking Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0 parallelly, but you are giving your data input bit by bit, means one by one. If we talk about overall block diagram of this, so this will look like you have one register. Let's say it is 4-bit. So you have 4 outputs, a single input and a single clock pulse bus line. And this one is basically serial in, parallel out. So you have Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. This Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0 I am denoting according to my convenience, which we can say that we can identify MSB and LSB by seeing this Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. The main important thing in this one is, like, we will analyze how we can store our data and how we can retrieve our data. So suppose we will take the same data, which is 1011, okay, and from here you have Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So we have Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0, and let's say like by default they are all having no data or 0, 0, 0, 0. And now we are going to apply clock pulse. So what will happen if I apply my first clock pulse? So after applying first clock pulse, this first data will get stored at this location, and this 0 will get shifted right side. In the second clock pulse, this one get shifted here, and one new one, that is this one, will get stored, and we will get 1, 1, 0, 0. In the third clock pulse, we will get 0, 1, 1, and 0. In the fourth clock pulse, this last bit will get stored, and we will get 1, 0, 1, 1. This is similar to previous case, and this is stored successfully. So this is the way you can store your data inside this 4-bit serial input, parallel output, shift register. Okay. Now, for extracting this data from this register, we will analyze how many clock pulses we need. So if we talk about after 4 clock pulses, like we want to store 1011, and after 4 clock pulses, here we have 1, here we have 0, and here we have 1, here we have 1. Okay, so that 4 digit is already stored inside this 4-bit shift register. Now you can see that this Q3 is directly connected at the place where this 1 is stored. This Q2 is directly connected to the place where this 0 is stored. Q1 is directly connected to the place where 1 is stored, and Q0 is directly connected to the last place. So you can say that without giving any clock pulse, we can receive this one directly at the output here, this one here, this 0 here, and this one here. So we can say that we don't need any clock pulse for retrieving of data in parallel output manner. Okay, so let's say if we talk in general way, like if you want to store n bit, we are talking about SIPO. Okay, if you want to store n bit, you need n clock pulse. And if you want to receive that data, you need 0 clock pulse. So this is the case for serial input, parallel output. Now we will see the next case, which is parallel input, serial output case. In previous case, we are receiving or retrieving data in form of parallel out. Now in this case, we want to send data as parallel in. Okay, so let's see what will be the architecture for this PISO or parallel input serial output shift registers. So let's take again an example for 4-bit. So we are having 4D flip-flop. So this is architecture we will use for parallel input. So parallel input means at a time we need to provide all 4 bits. Okay, but we are taking our output from this single point, that is only one wire from where we are taking our output. So for giving my data in a serial parallel manner, so first point is this one, and here I need to give I3 bit. Second is somewhere here where I need to give I2, then I1, and somewhere here which is I0. So now to store these things I3, I2, I1, and I0 inside those D flip flops, you need a multiplexer. And since you are using 2:1 multiplexer, So you have one select line. In this, since you are using 2:1 multiplexer, you have one select line, or you can say this one as a control line, whatever you want. Okay. So now we will see that how this architecture will work and how we can store our data in a parallel manner. So since we are storing our data in a parallel manner, like we have 4 bits, I3, I2, I1 and I0, which we want to store, and we want our output from this single point, which is output or Q0. So now we will see what will happen and how this circle will work, and we will see the functioning of this parallel input serial output. Okay, so let's take the first case. Case 1, when control is equal to 0. So when my control is 0, which means I'm connecting I2 with D2, I1 with D1 and I0 with D0. Okay, and this I3 is already connected with D3. So after applying one clock pulse, whatever be the value of D3 will be stored at Q3 location, the value of D2 will be stored at Q2 location, the value of D1 will get stored at Q1 location, and D0 will be stored at Q0 location. So let's say our data which we want to store is 1011. So, and Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0 are the places where we want to store our data, and previously let's say they are in 00 state, and our clock pulse we haven't applied any, or we have applied but we haven't applied any data. So after first clock pulse, like when we apply first clock pulse, so whatever data we are applying at I3, I2, I1 and I0 location will get directly stored in Q2, Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. Okay, so after one clock pulse only, you will get 1011 directly. This is because we are giving all the inputs parallelly and my control is 1. So at this point, my control is 0. Okay, so this is our case 1. Let's discuss about case 2. So case 2, we can say that my control is equal to 1. So when my control is 1, so basically this Q3 will get connected to D2, Q2 will get connected to D1, Q1 will get connected to D0, and the behavior of this circuit we have already seen previously, that what will happen in this case, like suppose we have Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0, already data is stored and in that location are 1011. Okay, and since this is the place where I can take output, so let's say we are applying first clock pulse. So after applying first clock pulse, we will get this data here, this data at this point, this data at this point. Okay, and suppose if I'm applying nothing at input side, it will be 0. Okay, in the second case, in the second time when I apply clock pulse, this 0 will be received here, this 0 will be received here, this 0 will be received here, and again 1 0 will be here. In the third clock pulse, this 1 will be received here, this 0 will be received here, and we will get my whole data, which is this one, that is 1011. So in this way, you can say that when you are choosing control equal to 0, means that is the case where you are doing parallel in. And if you are choosing the case where control equal to 1, that is the case when you are dealing with serial out. So in this way, like my whole circuit of parallel in serial out work. And this is an example for 4-bit. Let's say you want to deal with n bit. So we can say that for storing of n bit, we need only single clock pulse because all the things are in parallel mode. Whenever you apply single clock pulse, all the data will store to your flip-flop. And you need to remember one thing, that if you want to store 10 bit, you need 10 flip-flop. So if you talk about storage, you need n flip-flop. And if you want to retrieve that data, the first thing you need to set your control to 1 and you need to apply clock pulse. And the number of clock pulse you need to apply is n minus 1. So we'll write all those things. So our data, which is n bit. So for parallel in, the condition is, the first thing is control need to be 0 and you need clock pulse 1 time, okay, or 1 clock pulse. The second thing is, when you are dealing with serial out, you need to set your control to 1 and number of clock pulse required to retrieve your data is n minus 1. So this is the generalized case. Let's discuss our next case, which is PIPO. PIPO means parallel in, parallel out. This PIPO is a storage register and the architecture of this PIPO is somewhat different. So let's say we want to design a 4-bit PIPO using D flip-flop. So we need 4 D flip-flop. So this is D3, D2, D1, D0. And we need to synchronize them using a common clock pulse. And here you want to give input I3, I2, I1 and I0. If you want to give it parallelly, they are directly connected to D3, D2, D1 and D0. And since you are dealing about parallel output case also, which means all the things at Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0, you need to take directly as output. So this is Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So basically if I say this is my input, red one, and this is my output. If I draw a block diagram, then let's say this is my 4-bit register. So it is having 4 input. It is I3, I2, I1 and I0, and it is having 4 output, that is Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0, and it is having 1 port where we can apply clock pulse. So this is the overall layout or block diagram of 4-bit parallel input, parallel output based register. So now we will see from here that if you want to store data, okay, so same as of previous case of parallel and serial out, you need only 1 clock pulse to store your data inside this architecture. And since whatever you have stored are reflecting at your output pins, you need not to give any clock pulse for retrieving your data. So we can say directly that if I am talking about n bit data register, so for storage I need 1 clock pulse, and for receiving data I need 0 clock pulse. Okay, so with this, like you can see that which one is faster, which one is slower, and according to your situation, whatever flip-flops you need, you can use them. So if we compile all those theories, is CISO, CIPO, ESO, and PIPO. And if I talk about two cases where I want to give input, if I talk about number of clock pulse required for input and output, so in case of CISO, we need n clock pulse to store data or for input data. We need n minus 1 clock pulse to retrieve that data. In the case of CIPO, we need n clock pulse for storing n bit data, and we need no clock pulse for retrieving that data. When we talk about PISO, we need 1 clock pulse for storing that data, n bit data, and we need n minus 1 clock pulse for retrieving that data. If we talk about PIPO, we need 1 clock pulse for storing n bit data, and we need no clock pulse for retrieving that data. So with this, like you can say that in this case, last case, which is parallel in, parallel out case, you need minimum number of clock pulse for storing a set of data and receiving a set of data. If you talk about maximum delay, so maximum delay you can observe in this first case, that is serial in, serial out. So if you are dealing with serial input and serial output type of registers, the number of clock pulse requirement will be very high. And if the requirement is very high, your system will be slower. So in this case, your system is slower, and in this case, your system is faster. So this is all about registers using flip-flop. Thank you.